Welcome to Spotlight for Success by American Book Company. I am Devin Pentozzi, your host, and we are here at the South Carolina Council of Teachers of Mathematics. We are here with our special guest, Kimberly Harrington of Marlboro County Schools.
Yes.
Welcome, Kimberly.
Thank you.
What brings you to this conference today?
Well, it's all about learning. One of the things that I tell my students is you should always be trying to learn. I consider myself a lifelong learner, and although I'm almost completing my 33rd year of teaching, there's still more out there for me to learn. So when I come to conferences like this, I'm always looking at something new to help with our evolving students. You know, new trends. When I started teaching, we didn't have all of this technology and everything. So I try to stay on top of what the current trends are so I can better help my students.
That is wonderful, Kimberly. Can you tell us about your journey, why you chose to enter the teaching profession, and what brought you to this point today?
Yes, it's funny because I realize now at 56 years old that I knew at 7 I wanted to teach. I used to play school with my sisters and my friends and make them do my worksheets. It was so good that my mother bought me a chalkboard, and I would write on the chalkboard and make them do work and teach them. She wasn't teaching yet, but when I turned 13, she had gone back to school and she became a math teacher, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. But as the world evolved, I didn't initially go to school to be a math teacher, but I quickly changed my major after I got into a computer science class, and I realized I didn't mind the hard work, but I wasn't talking to anyone, and it just wasn't my cup of tea. So I changed my major to middle grades math, and I taught. I started teaching middle school. I loved it. I sometimes miss my middle schoolers, but they're adults now. So, but I decided then I wanted to continue to affect change with students and be a curriculum specialist. But I felt like I needed experience at the high school in order to do that. So I got my master's in secondary math, and I started teaching at the high school. I was in North Carolina at the time teaching, so I did 30 and a half years in North Carolina. The last 16 were at the high school level.
Oh, where did you teach in North Carolina?
In Fayetteville, North Carolina, I taught in Cumberland County Schools, so the last school I worked at was Westover High School.
Wonderful.
So I retired in June, and in August I was working at the Marlboro County High School in Marlboro County, and that's where I've been. So this is 2.5 years in.
Wow.
With them. I still love it, and as long as I have the passion, I'm gonna go. And I tell my students all the time, you know, I love it. I travel a little over an hour one way every day to teach, and I don't miss work. They wish they had a sub. They're excited about today and yesterday because they had a sub. I don't miss work.
I've enjoyed spending over a decade of my life serving North and South Carolina with American Book Company. Our materials are standards-based. They're written specifically for your state standards. The nice thing that our teachers tell us they love so much about our program is it's easy to implement. And if you're teaching the next page in an American Book Company book, you're teaching your state standards because, again, we write specifically for those standards. In fact, we're so sure that you're going to have success that we have a money-back guarantee that you will have success with our products. So please continue watching and contact me to find out more about our money-back guarantee.
That's awesome, Kimberly. Can you tell us about a special story, perhaps with a student, that you felt was impacted by the things you did in the classroom?
Ooh, I have so many. One of the things that I realized early on is the only way I can get through to the students to teach them math, which most of them don't like, is to learn about them. So it may not be a aha moment in the beginning about math, but about taking care of them. Over the years, I've had 5 or 6 students who actually lived with me because of special circumstances.
Wow.
One of the stories that I remember is there was a young man, and I noticed some difference in, his clothing and all of that. And I pulled him to the side and said, "What's going on?" And he told me that couldn't wash his clothes or whatever. And so anonymously, he probably still doesn't know that I did this. I found, because it was a small little town, Spring Lake, North Carolina, and I went and paid. I found that I have access to the address, so I paid off the bill.
Oh, wow.
And he says, when he came back, because I was the only teacher I think had asked about it, he says, my mom found the money to get the bill paid or whatever, and so I can wash my clothes, and that just teared me up. But just this year, I graduated from North Carolina Central University in Durham, North Carolina, and our high school, Marlboro County School District, was in our homecoming parade. And so one of my students plays the drums. And so he was at the parade, and his stick broke in the middle of the parade. And they have a picture of him where it flew up, and he's looking at it. It was so cute. So I told him, since he broke his stick at my college homecoming, I was going to purchase him some sticks, so he had to find what the sticks were. And I think that made a difference, because he works so much harder in my class now, whereas before he was intelligent, but he would say, "I don't feel like doing it," or "I do it if I feel like it." Now he works, and he tells all the other students he's the favorite.
That is...
So, it's 33 years, so I have a lot of those stories, but the thing is not to do it for the accolades, it's to do it to let these kids know that somebody cares about them. We're not the highest paid profession, but we need people in the profession that really care about children to be able to affect change and teach them.
That is wonderful. Is there anything you'd like to share with the South Carolina math teacher community, or beyond that to the general population, about the joys of teaching?
Well, what I would like to say to all teachers, and those of us that I say we're on the front lines. It's like a war zone. Thank you to all of you who are willing to stay. I know it's hard. I like that we can get together like this and kind of vent a little bit, but also to encourage one another. Children are children, and children are going to be children. Do not give up. Please continue to try to reach the ones you can reach. One of the things that was hard for me, and I know it's hard for those of us that care, is that we can't reach all of them. So let's continue to reach the ones that we can, and hopefully they will make a difference.
Oh, that is wonderful, Kimberly. Kimberly Harrington, Marlboro County Schools, thank you so much for participating with us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
I hope you have a fantastic conference.
All right, thank you.